Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. This is the 2026 January Central Arkansas Herp Society meeting. We're going to go ahead and call it to order. It's approximately 2:36 p.m. and we have in attendance a couple of people. We'll just do a vocal roll call just for names. President Bobby Neal. We have our Vice President. Okay, Sydney's here. And all this might not pick up, but we're going to play a video here in a second. We also have Taylor and Ray, and then we also have Doe and her children. So we'll go ahead and we'll start off with a little introductory video, and then we'll kind of get off into the meeting a little bit. And Sydney, you have the Facebook pulled up over there. Is Josh on there yet? I was trying to see if we could get.
I believe it's either me and Doe or me and Ray.
Okay. Well, let me know when he shows up, and we'll just include him in the roll call just for the minutes and everything. But I'm going to go ahead and start a video for the group, and then we'll start the meeting shortly thereafter. I wanted to take a little bit of time and talk a little bit about the Herp Society and what we've been up to this year and what we have to look forward to in the upcoming year of 2026. So, as you may know, we've had quite a few more Herp shows this last year, and the Herp Society has had representation at some, but not all of the shows. But we've had a table at several of the shows, including the Jacksonville and the Little Rock shows, both. We had a spring herping trip. Several of us just happened to be at the same place at the same time back in May, and we had a really good time with that. And we also had a guest speaker at the June meeting. So some of the things to look forward to and that we'll be talking about today is we have the 2026 officer elections coming up. We will have the nominations starting at today's meeting, and that will also include online nominations or digital nominations, which we'll have more information on, and we'll post that to the Facebook group. We'd like to talk a little bit about spring herping as well as the 2026 Show Me Reptile Expo dates here in Central Arkansas. So a little bit about the spring herping trip from last year. There were 7 of us that showed up out at Bell Slough, and we found many different reptiles and amphibians. We found turtles, obviously lots of skinks, and several different snake species. And probably one of the neatest and most unique snake species found that day was this mud snake, which we have a couple of pictures of. And they have a very pretty underbelly or their ventral surface, and you can see they also curl up their tail as a distraction for a defense mechanism. In June, Jeff Snodgrass came out to the meeting and talked about conservation of reptiles and amphibians with emphasis on indigo snakes. Here's a picture of Jeff with one of his eastern indigos that he brought out for us to see. And thanks to Doe A. Deer from the Facebook group, when asked if we had any photos to send in for social media use, she did send us several photos of the presentation. And here's a picture of one of her children with a yellowtail crebo. And I highly recommend checking out that meeting. We did record it and have it on our YouTube page since Facebook doesn't keep videos forever anymore. And so it's over there on the YouTube page. There's a link to it on the current slide. Or you can go to youtube.com/CentralARHerps, and then you click on the live tab because it was a live stream from the meeting. So it's not under the normal videos. It's under the live videos tab. And as mentioned, the number of reptile shows here in Central Arkansas has dramatically increased. For the 2026 season, we have 7 reptile shows in Central Arkansas alone, and here are the dates listed. The black dates are in Little Rock, and the blue dates are at the Jacksonville Community Center. And so the Little Rock shows are at the State Fairgrounds, and the Jacksonville shows are there at the Community Center. And you can see we have 7 of them. We've already had 1 of them this year in January. The next one coming up will be next weekend, which is the 7th and 8th of February at the Jacksonville location. So a little bit of what to look forward to and what's exciting this time of year. It's very cold, unfortunately, and we're not getting to see a lot of snakes, but there are a couple of frog species. So on the left here is a breeding female, and on the right is a breeding male. These actually were in Amplexus when found, and the male on the right, for whatever reason, it seems like in some of the populations in Arkansas, the males are relatively darker when in comparison to the females. Not sure why that is, and I haven't really seen that in any of the other literature as to an explanation as to why the males are darker in Arkansas. But this is not a temperature dependent thing. These were found in the exact same location at the same time, and this is what they looked like upon being found. A little bit better picture of what one typically looks like. Here's a picture of that same female in the daylight. Now, one of the interesting things about these is they are obligate crayfish burrow inhabitants, and so they're very difficult to detect outside of the breeding season, and even during the breeding season, they're difficult to detect because if you know their calls, you can find them, but once you've located the calls, you might spend hours walking in circles because anytime they detect that you're nearby, they typically go right back down into the burrow, and they go down deep enough that you can't really catch them without disturbing their habitat, and it's probably best to leave them alone. And so is walking upon them whenever they're breeding, and they're really interesting animals, but just really they're probably not as rare as some think, in my opinion, because they're just a species that's difficult to detect. And one of the other really interesting animals that we have here in Arkansas is the tiger salamander. Now, its range is mostly northeast Arkansas, and we have one population that I'm aware of that's been documented in southwest Arkansas. I don't know if that population is still active, and there are also some populations of them in northwest Arkansas. For whatever reason, these animals, here in Arkansas, they have a very good range, but they do typically range all the way from Illinois down into Texas, and for whatever reason, there is pretty much a gap of them here in Arkansas. And so on this next slide, which I jumped to a little early, but I'll go ahead and go to now, this is in the file of what in the world happened here. This is a green tree python that was introduced to a female, and as you can see, his hemipene has everted, and it went between his skin that he was about to shed and his new skin. So he didn't quite hit the target on this one. The person that owns this animal is Eric Chung. I talked to him on Facebook and got permission to share this photo with the group. And as you see right here, when he went into his snake room in the morning, this was quite alarming. Thankfully, with the moisture between the skin layers, there was no damage done to this animal. He took this photo and then immediately went into the cage and aided this animal and helped it out, and it was no worse for wear. But this is definitely a very unusual thing to walk in and find in your snake room in the morning. And there's some interesting things going around on Facebook on herp literature, and I'd like to share this one. This was originally from 2024, but it's starting to make the rounds again. And here's the citation for what we're going to be talking about. So it's been found that Komodo dragons have iron-enriched cutting edges on their teeth. This is the first time this has been documented in carnivorous reptiles. And during the investigation, they found that the erupted and unerupted teeth are equally pigmented with the iron along the cutting edge. So this isn't staining from feeding behavior or anything of that nature. It's actually iron deposits along the cutting edge. Now, the enamel on this and the iron is about 20 micrometers thick. And for comparison, human hair is about 20 to 180 micrometers. Probably the more standard, a lot of people say probably in the 70 range. But still rather interesting that there's iron deposits that are on the cutting edge of these teeth. Now, there have been iron pigmented enamel studied in beavers, shrews, fish, and salamanders. Its function remains unclear, but in some cases it does appear that the iron deposits harden the enamel. And in these varanid lizards, including Komodo dragons and some other closely related taxa that were investigated, it is concentrated along the cutting edge. So if you look real closely, you can see these iron deposits along the cutting edge of the teeth. And I grabbed a skull from a water monitor that I had laying around and stuck it under the dissection scope. And sure enough, it's something that's observable. But until 2024, no one had actually done anything with it to document it. And so this is pretty exciting and pretty interesting. So we'll go ahead and get to the regular meeting. I just wanted to have a little bit of intro to talk a little bit and share some information about what's going on and what will be going on in the next year. Okay, and I'm going to try to transition us to the room mic so that we will be able to hear everybody. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of warning to adjust your audio and turn it up if you need to. And I'm going to do that right now. Just give me a second to figure it out. And okay, we should be coming through on the room mic now. It might have a little bit of an echo, but we should be good to go. Let's see, is Josh online yet, Sydney?
It won't let me see who's viewing it, but I don't believe so. I haven't seen his name.
Okay. And I was looking for Josh online. I was hoping he is going to be there. One of the reasons is one of the big things this last year has been trying to ratify bylaws. And to do so, we need to present them to the group as a whole and have a vote. At the last meeting where we had a quorum of officers, which was May of 2025, on the 10th, we agreed that there were some changes that we're making to the proposed bylaws. And on the 17th, our goal was to post it to the Facebook group and get a vote. We haven't had them posted yet, and I was trying to see what the status of that was so that we could move forward with that. And so as soon as we have that from Josh, we'll go ahead and share that with the rest of the group. And outside of that, I think we have officer nominations. Now with the officer nominations, I'm very open to suggestion on this, but just a little bit of background. Looking at the calendar coming up, the 7th and 8th of February, that's Super Bowl weekend. The next weekend is the 14th and 15th, which is Valentine's Day. And then we have the 21st and the 28th, which is the Saturdays rounding out the month. And so if the other officers found it fitting, I think we should go ahead and start opening up nominations effective today and close the nominations on February 7th. And that would give everybody a little bit of time to go ahead and make their videos for the group and then have them posted on Facebook by the 21st, and then have the election run basically online through the web on the 21st through 28th, and do it kind of like what we did last time, where we had, after you have nominations, we have the officer form that you fill out on Google, and then once we have those compiled, we present them out to the group. Is that everybody kosher with that? Okay, and that was just a little bit of background information on our proposed timeline. And we don't have a quorum currently, but that's kind of what I'd like to do if there's not any major objections. And so with that, I think, and Sydney, please help me out here. We had discussed in the officer chat of having both nominations at the meeting and then also using the Gmail account, email account to
Yes.
email an officer nomination in.
Yeah, for people who can't always, because Thursdays are better for some people, Saturdays are better for others to make it here. So just that way people who weren't able to make the meeting today can still, if they feel like they'd be a good asset as an officer, can just write in their nomination.
And we're in agreement that now through the 7th is a week, and that should give anybody that's even remotely active in the group to notice and go ahead and put a nomination in. And just a little bit of background on that. On nominations, you can self-nominate, and so that's an option, or you can nominate someone else. Now remember, just because you nominate someone doesn't mean they have to run. They do have to accept your nomination. And so, I'm sorry, did you have a question?
Oh, I was saying, I think we should also post the Gmail once we do the synopsis of the meeting. That way people who, because I don't know the group Gmail off the top of my head, so include it in the post.
Oh, absolutely.
So people know where to email it into.
Yeah, and I think from previous discussion, just to avoid any confusion in the group, the officers have been, what I think is unanimous, is we're not going to allow electioneering and nominations outside of the official posts on the group. So don't post on the Facebook chat, I nominate so-and-so, because we're not going to pay attention to it. And we're probably going to delete the post. And so keep electioneering and nominations to the official threads that are designated for that within the Facebook group is my recommendation. And so I think we can move forward with that. Is there any other business anybody'd like to introduce to the floor before we go ahead and start officer nominations? Any old business?
Not really.
Okay, and no new business. And so that brings us to officer nominations. And so I turn the floor over to the group as a whole and also to the Facebook chat. Please note that we're not doing the officer nominations through the Facebook chat, so don't start nominating there. If you want to nominate online, we will be posting the address on the Facebook group. And so we'll start here with just the room and do electronic nominations through the Gmail, not through the Facebook chat at this time. So please. So anybody in this room have any officer nominations?
You got a little PTSD coming.
Yeah.
You got PTSD coming through from last year.
I think we all want it to be organized so we don't miss anything and don't slide anybody. I think that's only fair.
Yeah, it was a whole mess last year.
We'll just start it, aiming, and go around the room.
Well, I mean, raise your hand if you want to make an officer nomination, because and the officers we have
Must
president.
be 18 plus. I'll say that. Must be 18 plus.
Have to be an adult.
We have president, we have vice president, we have secretary, we have treasurer, and we also have a social media / outreach individual. So we have a total of 5 officers. And so that would make the quorum for the group for any meeting to be 3. And so, yeah, again, president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. And then the 5th one is the social media representative.
And if we don't have a social media representative, usually the officers just try to do as much as we can at events.
Yeah.
Is Connor currently the social media?
No, currently it's Barbara, and
she's been so busy.
She's been so busy
with KP stuff. Yeah, it's a
And-
little bit. So that's why, like when Connor, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but when Connor was social media representative, he was so good at that stuff. I don't know how he did it and his own stuff. It's just definitely, I think, a lot more than people think.
yeah.
Connor's had a zoo to use, and he's had an arm injury for a few months now.
Yeah,
He's been dealing with.
Connor's been going through it as well.
Yeah, and really when Barbara stepped up this last year, I really do appreciate it. And she stepped up, and basically after elections, we didn't have a social media person, and we knew that she was going to be time limited, and we brought her, or she came on with us knowing that, and that in combination of there have been a couple of Facebook posts of, hey, if you have some content like doe a deer, and she sent us some photos from one of the group presentation, and I've been very open with Barbara about really the social media person. It's not their job to necessarily create content, it's to post the content. We really knew if we want to grow the society, we need input from the group to send us videos, send us pictures of animals, send us what you want to see on the Facebook page and on the Instagram page. And so in fairness, we've had very little group input, and the group input that we've had, it's been very much appreciated. And we've actually shared some of those photos in some of the presentations.
I think the only reason why Connor was so good when he was the social media person is because he already promotes his own business. So he already knows how social media works and what posts work, which ones don't.
He's also got the personality for it.
He does.
And he's been very good about keeping.
I don't see how people are that sociable all the time.
And he's been
great.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk.
The customer service.
Yeah.
And he's been really good at keeping his own personal stuff separate from the group when doing so. So kudos to Connor, and I figure that electronically we'll have several people nominate him for several positions if he so chooses, but I do understand he has a family with younger children. He's had an arm injury, and he's been very busy, and so just full disclosure, I'm sure that anytime there's officer nominations, he's going to get nominated whether he wants it or not. And so there's always going to be an officer position open for him.
It's like, Connor, if you want back in the group, just come on.
Please, Connor, we're begging you.
I was going to nominate him for social, because I liked what he did that I'd seen in the past, so.
Okay.
Go ahead and put him down as a nomination if he wants to take that up.
Okay.
Well, did you have someone nominate started?
Connor's business has also been growing a lot this past year as well. I'm so proud of him.
Amy, I'm sorry.
Connor's gonna see this and just
Do you
blush.
have a nomination to make? You are 13, so you cannot nominate yourself.
Thank you.
They were laughing about that earlier.
Is it all right if I call you by your actual name and not
Call
Delaware
me
Deer?
Vanessa, yeah.
Okay.
Irvin's like, never call you.
The second time he said your username, I seen your face and I was like,
I mean, it's such a long backstory as to why that moniker's there, and I'm not gonna go into it on the live stream. If anyone is curious to know, I will explain later.
Okay, so I do have Vanessa. You have nominated Connor for the social media coordinator. And we'll get with the officers will get with Connor and see if he wants to accept or decline that nomination. Now remember, we're keeping nominations open till the 7th. That's a week from that's a week from today. That's this upcoming Saturday.
yeah.
And so you don't have to make them now, but if anybody has any nominations, did you have one?
So I'd like to nominate you for president.
Okay.
No two
No, there's that
terms.
side.
No two terms.
Well, the bylaws haven't been adopted yet.
Oh, true.
Honestly,
because the
I-
bylaws weren't adopted, I was going to nominate you for president again anyways.
Well, honestly, I do appreciate that, and I do want to remain active in the society. If I do end up being an officer, it'd be a discussion I'd want to have with the current officers, and with the group as a whole. Honestly, I don't want to have too much. I guess in academia they call it academic inbreeding, where you just keep the same people over and over. But unfortunately, we are a small group, so there might be redundancies, and so I will think on that, and I definitely appreciate that, and hopefully we'll get some new blood, for lack of a better term, some new people interested in it. And I think we as a group probably would say Connor is nominated for any officer position that he would like to take if he wants to take one. Is that fair to say? So Connor, no pressure, buddy.
Because the society really thrived. I'm not saying that you did a bad job by any means. I'm not saying that at all. But
yeah, no offense.
when Connor was president, that's when I think it was our most active year. We did the most amount of stuff. We had the most amount of people at meetings. So Connor, it's Miranda, try not to throw you under the bus, but maybe this arm injury will make him have a little more time.
And I'm sure he'd have lots of support, people behind him. And so, yes. With that, any other nominations, any other positions? Okay.
Are you wanting president again, or a position?
I would honestly rather just be backup support
Back to vice president.
at most. But I will consider the nomination process, and I have till the 7th to decide. So is that fair enough? But I want to talk with others before I would accept such a thing, and I'd like to give others an opportunity to step up if they'd like.
Can we make another nomination?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can
I'd
nominate.
nominate Taylor as well as your competitor for president.
Okay. So we have a
Sounds
nomination of
better
Taylor.
coming from you than from me. Let's be real.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll run for president.
Okay. And do we have a second?
Second? No, say second. I second.
We have several seconds. We
Oh, it's in agreement?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so
Taylor for president.
okay. So you accept the nomination.
yeah. That's
Okay.
5 in this room.
So we have a nomination of Taylor for the Taylor Christenberry for the Herp Society president. And do we have any other nominations?
Aren't you good with an insurance agency?
Yes.
Like running finances?
Yeah, I mean,
So you've been a treasurer for a major insurance company, basically.
yeah, I absolutely handled money for him. So.
Well, I'll nominate Ray as treasurer.
Okay. We'll have Taylor on 8. Right. Is it RAE? Is it
Yeah.
REI?
Yep.
Okay.
Are you staying in Central Arkansas? I'll
Okay.
nominate her for
We
social
have
media.
Do we have a?
I'll second it.
You have a second from Vanessa, and do you accept?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you accept the nomination, and we had a Taylor. You nominated Miranda.
For social media.
I'll second that nomination.
She does the same digital digital art as like Connor does. She's very good on an iPad, and she's very good at managing a social media page.
Okay, and so we have. Do you accept that nomination?
She also has a very broad knowledge on like smaller exotic reptiles like geckos.
Well, we'll let her share that in the election videos. But we appreciate the enthusiasm. And so we have. Right now, we have nominated for social media coordinator / any other position he would like as Connor. We have a nomination for Taylor as the Herp Society president. We have a nomination for me as president, which I'm not accepting at this time. I want to talk to some people before we do that. I want to be careful about the appearance on that, and I do want to give people the opportunity to step up and take over in the society. And so, but I do definitely appreciate that. So I'm going to leave that one open-ended for now. We have a nomination for treasurer for Ray, and we have a social media nomination for Miranda. And so, are there any other nominations that we'd like to come through in the room at this time? Going once, going twice. Any other nominations you'd like to make at this point? We'll put the post on the Facebook page on where to send that email for the officers to.
Is there a position that we hadn't called yet?
Vice President and Secretary.
Vice President and Secretary.
Yeah.
Secretary. Who's currently secretary? What is secretary?
Current secretary is Amber. Yeah, and
Somebody good with a pencil.
yeah, basically some of the more important aspects of secretary is taking accurate meeting notes and presenting them to the group for adoption, and also maintaining the roster of group members, which we have a email list that's on the Gmail page that we can also email out members on. So that would be part of the social media coordinator's duties.
Is there
Secretary?
a job
Secretary
description
what?
somewhere for the different
Vice
positions?
President.
There is, and rather than me rattle something off my head and say it wrong, because I'm very capable of doing that, as you all know, we'll post those on the Facebook page, because Sydney, I believe, I think I still have a copy of it, but Josh and several others from the 2024 officers actually made a list of officers and officers' duties, and I think that would be pertinent to post on the book for people, or on the Facebook page for people to consider nominations.
Personally, I think I would be better for secretary than treasurer, because
Then we'll go with that.
I was gonna say, because good lord, that was
She writes books, so
So you rescind your treasurer nomination,
I'll go for secretary.
and you're going to nominate her for secretary.
I forgot she completely writes books.
I'll second that.
Okay, so I'll just change that from treasurer to secretary.
She's literally got a binder where she writes books.
And currently, our treasurer is Josh, and he's got the bank account and all that stuff set up in his name already. And so, honestly, I would have absolutely. I'd have absolutely no problem with him if he wanted to run, another one, because just to make it easy for him to transit, rather than try to hand all the bank account info and stuff over. But that's completely up to him. But with that in mind, I'll nominate Josh for treasurer if he would like to accept it. Do we have a second on that nomination?
I'll second that.
Okay.
I'll second Josh for treasurer.
Okay.
Because he's already trying to get everything set up for us more financially anyway. And
He's already got the experience in the group for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess to make it more comfortable for you, it's a vice president nomination. There's not one for that yet.
Okay. So we'll just say we have a nomination. Do we have a second on that for?
You for vice president? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 4.
Okay. And so, and again, I will wait a little while to see what happens, to see if someone else wants to fill that role before I accept or decline the nomination on that. But it's very much appreciated, and I'll leave that as an open-ended one for now. And so
the only thing that's not a solid nomination yet is vice president.
have to be 18. I think that's something that we've all agreed as officers we've done in the past 6
said
meetings.
he would make a great vice president. I asked to. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Bobby, but I don't have confirmation yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm pretty sure. Bradley's watching the live straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where he.
Well, if it's all right with everybody, we will go ahead and close the in-room nominations, but the digital nominations are still going to be open until February the 7th. So that gives everybody a week to email them in and to keep me from posting the wrong email address or telling you the wrong email address. We'll look that up, and by this evening, we'll get that posted to the Facebook group along with the officer descriptions. The only other old business that I have that I'd like to go ahead and tackle right now before we close is we did accept membership fees from several members this past year. We've been short on meetings, and so I would just like to reach out and say that I would like to make a motion that we can ratify it at a later meeting when we have a quorum, but I'd like to make a motion that anybody that paid membership fees this last year, it be rolled over and applied to this upcoming season, because honestly, we haven't given them a lot of value for the money that we put in. Membership was $1 a month, $12, but I still think it would be right and the good thing for the society to do to go ahead and roll that over into this next season rather than hold on to their money for something that we had one guest speaker for.
Yeah.
So
I need to pay membership fees too, because I am not sure who do I send that to Josh?
Yeah, it's Josh, and and he has a Venmo account, and
Okay.
I think there's a Facebook account, but I don't have the link to it. I've asked for a link to that.
I'll reach
but-
out to him. Then.
That's why I wasn't able to get it, because I don't have Venmo and it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And I was going to give him cash, and
And he doesn't want the cash.
He doesn't want the cash, but then everything happened where he's not
Just give
here.
me
Yeah.
the cash and I'll send it.
Okay, yeah, I can get it sent to him through.
And that's no shade being thrown at him. He's been very busy. He had a tree hit his house this
He had
year.
a tree hit his house, I think twice.
Yeah, I think.
And I think Connor said that we could send it to his Las Vegas account just as long as you put in the note saying, hey,
This goes to dudes.
dues, and then your name, and then the amount.
But nobody on the group sent that yet. We'll post that
Yeah.
information to the group. But thank you for that.
I think that's just what I vaguely remember him saying last year.
Okay. And so we have a motion to roll over the membership fees that anybody paid this last year into the upcoming season. Do we have a second on that?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a second from our VP, Sydney. And so we have a motion, we have a second, and it won't be official until the officers ratify it, but I'm going to go ahead and call for a vote from the members that are present. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, we don't have any opposition, so hopefully we
raised
got
my
that.
hand on instinct. Oh my gosh. I'm tired. I've been with a newborn and a toddler all week. I'm
Oh, man.
so down to be back to work.
So you're a little bit sleep deprived.
So these nominations that are on this paper, do we have to email those in to make them?
No, we'll post those in and let everybody know where the nominations currently are.
Alrighty.
So, but that was the in-room, the in-person meeting nominations, and we'll post that to the group and allow digital nominations through the 7th.
Yep, and the vice president's still open, but preferably you.
I'll let the group decide on that. We'll talk some about that. I appreciate it, but I also want to give the opportunity to anybody that might like to have the opportunity. And so, with that, before I close the meeting, do we have any other general discussion? Anybody have Herpin plans? What's going on? And we can just.
Y'all are gonna have a table February show. Are you?
I don't have one currently. That's I haven't reserved one for the society. I say it's society table.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't have one reserved for the society. If we
What's the date for the?
It's
7th
next
and
weekend.
8th. It's like a week from
Yeah,
today.
it's this upcoming weekend.
Which again, Super Bowl weekend. I know the Super Bowl doesn't start till 5 or 6 Eastern. So, but still, that's probably going to affect some people.
Yeah, that will
That's
definitely.
more important.
When you have a table set up with that, are they charging you a vendor table, or do they just complimentary give it as a society?
We're charged a vendor table. I don't want to say the fee, but we are given a very deep discount.
Okay.
And so we're not paying $175 for
Yeah, I
it.
was hopeful that they were.
I mean, for educational purposes,
Yeah.
they do. It is $2. It is.
Yeah.
It is a nice
Yeah.
discount for educational purposes,
Yeah.
but for really what I do, I wouldn't care to pay. Like if it was
Right.
160 like everybody else, I'm still gonna pay for it.
I
But
would
yeah,
love the show coming up, but sadly that is the weekend that I work.
Yeah, and that's totally understandable. And
Y'all do trade work weekends.
I'm not
I
sure.
wish I could.
I'm not sure what the outlook is on how many vendors they currently have signed up. I know there was one show that they were like several weeks out. They had sold out of tables, and so I don't even know
I think
if
that
one
was
is available.
I think that was the middle of the year where it was warm and apparently everybody wanted to be there, but they sold out 2 weeks before the show.
Yeah. Well, I'll just throw this out there. I won't be able to attend the full time both days. I will attend at least one day.
If you need someone to man the table, we could come out and help.
Okay.
Because Ray is off this weekend, so she'll be.
No, it's in Jacksonville.
It's in Jacksonville, Arkansas.
That's where the Air Force Base is, where we live.
It's like 15 minutes away.
No,
It's
amen.
the one
Northeast Rogers.
And yeah, you're getting Rogers confused. The Rogers
The
show.
Rogers one's huge.
They're the same thing.
No.
No.
No, they are absolutely.
So I'll tell you what,
Actually, before I say that though, I need to look at their, because you've got various school things or soccer things, but I'll give you my cell phone too if you want
Okay.
to connect with me about, because they always go, and I think the last show my husband took them, but usually I go out with them. But we could.
Yeah, I was wondering where you were.
I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and
I'll.
I'll make a separate post. I know I'm making a lot of promises on what I'm going to do this
Right.
afternoon. Hopefully, I get it all done.
I mean,
But
worst case scenario, like you could have the banner up at Taylor's table.
I mean, because we're
I mean-
going to be there.
She's off, and she's second on my permit, so she can man my table. While if the society's table is next to mine, I can still man both tables as long as either me or her is constantly at my table.
Right.
It's completely legal.
yeah. Okay. And so I'm hearing that we probably have coverage in the group. I will go ahead and post and ask for any other additional volunteers, kind of spread the workload out.
I mean, I
And-
can. I'll talk to the moderators, and they'll put our tables right next to each other, like they always
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. Well, and that also helps out because I'm also on the permit for you.
You're also
so,
on my permit
Yeah.
if she's not.
Yeah, and I know we're keeping things separate, but you obviously provide animals for us and everything else, so
Yes.
that's much appreciated. And so
Lucifer will be able to attend this one.
shed out finally. Yeah. Okay, so I think that kind of gets us to where it sounded like we need to reserve a table, but I'll wait to hear from you 100% on that.
Yeah.
And is there any other additional business or discussion herping plans?
The ice needs to melt.
As far as,
That's the ice needs to melt.
The ice needs to melt, yeah. As far as I know, is my friend Dakota. He spent quite a bit of time living in Bald Knob, and he had recently told me that a spot up there where he has found mud snakes mid-February before. So he had warned me about that a few days ago, that in a few weeks we could possibly be finding some mud snakes and cottonmouths possibly up around some farmlands up north.
So we have a possibility for mud snakes. Your spotted salamanders are already in the breeding ponds. Your marbled salamanders have already bred. They'll have largish, 1.5 to 2 inch larvae in the ponds. Tiger salamanders, where we have tiger salamanders, will probably be moving into the ponds. Crawfish frogs, your spring peepers, and your chorus frogs, and probably some of your leopard frogs will mix in with some of their frog calls on the warmer nights. And so even though it's cold, we're not catching a lot of snakes right now. We do have some promising herps to find. Yeah.
We can still go out and turn over rotten logs and stuff in Burns Park and find your marbleds, your spotteds, and your smallmouth salamanders.
Oh yeah, smallmouth. They're a great ditch salamander.
They're everywhere in Burns Park.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they get big. They're like 7-8 inches long.
Nice. Okay, and so it looks like we still have some herping opportunities as soon as some of the ice melts off. I'm glad that we had several people able to show up today. Your attendance is much appreciated.
So when are we going to start having a January herping meeting?
I'm usually out in the field. This year's a little bit different. I usually get out in the field 2 or 3 times in January. This year I'm probably going to be pushing that to February. One, because up north, I don't know, we're in central Arkansas, but northern Arkansas has been very, very, very dry. And so a lot of the ponds that I, look for salamanders in, because I do know some public land that has good salamander ponds, and I've actually got a working relationship with some private landowners that I've cultivated over the decades to have access to some really, really good private land ponds. But last time I talked to my friends up north in the tiger salamander habitat areas, I've been told that it is bone dry. And so my January trips are going to hopefully shift into February, and maybe we'll get a little bit more rain up north.
What about Southern Arkansas?
Southern Arkansas is a swamp right now. Like with this.
No, it's not.
Oh, well, you're Southern. I was talking towards Texarkana.
No, I was going to say.
No, it's not like his Southern.
Like I've got friends and stuff that live down the northwest part of Arkansas in the coral snake habitat.
Southwest part.
Southwest part of Arkansas where it's in coral snake habitat. And I've asked them, I'm like, hey, what's it look like down there? Like, it's slushy and it's all swamp and wet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, probably a good indicator for that is look at the burn ban maps. We've had a lot of the state under a burn ban recently, so.
And it's mostly north and central.
Yeah.
Down in like Cutoff Creek, WMA down there, they got most of it's at least about shin deep and whatnot. Guarantee you can find some cottonmouth on ice out there right now.
Probably so.
Yeah, that's something that I've talked a lot about. People, you can still turn a rock over and find snakes. They're not they don't hibernate. People are like, what do you do with them in the winter? I'm like, well, they live indoors. So I move them from outside enclosures to indoor enclosures, and they live out their life normally. I don't brumate my snakes, but you can still go find them. And one picture was sent to me from a park ranger on Petty Jean, and they have a ledge out there that's got about a 4.5 to 5 foot western diamondback, and she had sent me a picture of it curled up on the rock ledge in the one part of the rock that the snow had melted and was snow on both sides, and it was I think it was late January of last year when she got that picture. So you could still go out and find them. Your chances are a lot lower, but if it's sunny and the wind's not really blowing and they can get that direct sunlight and there's some rock showing that warms up, they'll sit out there.
Yeah. Well, cool. It sounds like we have a very optimistic group, and like we have upcoming herp plans, and I hope everybody else out there has herp plans. And
I do have to go down there to where he is because he's deep in green water snake range.
Well, and I just had a thought too is, so my dad's property at the 5 acres, we have that pond, and I'm sure my dad would love if we got rid of some of them turtles.
The turtles.
Well, that's,
My dad is so freaking tired of them turtles. I'm
Well,
sure he
see,
would love for us to come
We'll
down.
relocate all his turtles. If it's an alligator snapping turtle, he's just gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah.
We don't have any of those.
I can't touch
well,
it.
that's one of the.
That's one of the protected turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you said turtles, because that's actually something that sometimes does get turned up in the winter. They actually sometimes will, hibernate or estivate or brumate, however you want, whatever flavor word you want to use for them. They'll actually cool down and shut down, and I found them, and many others have found them under the ice this time of year.
Especially our common snapping turtles and stuff. I've walked around ponds. I distinctively remember the Cabot Community Pond one year. I was young, but it had frozen over to the point where we could walk on it, so it was a good 2 or 3 inches of ice across the pond. But it was crystal clear underneath it, and we found common snapping turtles that were just laid on the bottom, and when we walk over them, they're about in a foot or two of water down there, they would start to move a little bit. And that got me thinking, like, do they come up for air or not? And I jumped down a rabbit hole and found out that the snapping turtles and turtles under the ice, when it freezes over, that kind of insulates the liquid water underneath it, and it keeps it livable. But they'll absorb oxygen out of the water through their butthole.
Yeah, that is true.
That's how they survive under the ice. Their metabolism slows down so much, and they get so lethargic that little bit of oxygen they
I
absorb.
think what they'll call that in the literature is cloacal respiration.
Yes.
They have highly vascularized cloaca.
I thought that was neat, but I was like, oh, then no wonder all the turtles live under the water all winter.
Yeah, they can actually absorb some of I say absorb, but it's actually gas exchange. They can actually have gas exchange, through the through the capillaries. That's what I was looking for, capillaries in the cloaca. Highly vascularized region in the turtles. And so I think with that's a good note to end on for the meeting. And so we're looking forward to hearing more officer nominations. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn if anybody has a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, Vanessa, we have a motion to adjourn. A motion does not require a second. It calls for an immediate vote. All in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, meeting is adjourned. Everybody, I hope you stay warm out there, and maybe we'll get out herping together soon. So y'all have a good one. I wanted to take a little bit of time and talk a little bit about the Herp Society and what we've been up to this year and what we have to look forward to in the upcoming